Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you guys can hear and see me. I can see me on the Zoom, so I think that we are in good shape. As you can see, we've got a couple of folks here in Albuquerque here in the office. Everyone's waving to say hello. We're joined by some folks on the phone and online as well. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. We will record this session. This session is being recorded currently as we speak, so um, it will be available after the fact if you want to review it again, or for people who are unable to attend in person or via Zoom. So I'm going to give just a few more minutes of prep here as we get set up. There's a better view. I think that works. That works better than the other camera view we had. If folks here in the office, have you done a Sun Tours tour yet? All right, great. Okay, none for you. Okay, well, we're glad to have you here. Hopefully, we'll be able to give you insight into like why we believe that the best way to travel, certainly from Albuquerque and with other New Mexicans, is through Sun Tours. So looking forward to talking more about that. We got some more people here. Submit them. Yep, there we go. Okay. See, we've got some new folks joining us on the Zoom. Hello, welcome. We are gathering here in the Albuquerque office, and we're also about to get started talking to you all about this lovely tour that we have upcoming, the Australia and New Zealand tour coming this October and finishing up. I think you get back on November 1st. So very exciting stuff. I'm going to go ahead and get the presentation set up as we keep letting folks in, make sure we're good to go. I'm going to ask Morgan to confirm that everything is looking okay when she gets a chance. I need to share my screen also. Here we go. I believe that this is what we want to do. Participants can now see your screen. Okay, that's good, right? That's what we want. That over here. Morgan, can you confirm that what you're seeing is the right presentation screen?
Looks good.
Okay, great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started then, everyone. Thank you for being here today. Again, we are talking about this amazing 21-day, 20-night tour to Australia and New Zealand. Folks who are here from in the Sun Tours offices, thanks for joining. Obviously, we've got folks from our sister agency, Pleasurement, out of Tucson, who are joining, I believe, mostly virtually. I don't know that they have anyone in the office there, but we're excited to tell you everything about this tour that's going out this October 12th through November 1st. And so we'll talk about the generalities of the entire trip, and then we'll also go through a day-by-day itinerary so you can understand all the lovely places that you're going, how you're getting there, and learn about all the amazing sites that we're going to be seeing as we go down under. Okay, so first and foremost, I mean, you guys are, of course, familiar with the country. Well, I don't know why it's not changing. Okay. Okay. All right, here, country of Australia. Obviously, if we're familiar, we've seen pictures. I don't know if has anyone been to Australia before? This would be the first time for everyone. You have? Yes. Ah, lovely, lovely. A particular area?
Sydney.
Ah, okay, lovely. Well, we do arrive in Sydney and I believe fly out of Sydney on the way back, but we'll make sure we go through all that on throughout the presentation. So let's talk a little bit about Australia. About 25 million people in the country, and it's about as large as the United States in area. So quite a big country. Obviously not as populated as the United States at 25 million, but quite a large country with 6 states and 2 territories. And of course, the major tourist cities are as follows. We've got your Sydney, Melbourne, Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, Alice Springs, and Canberra, which is the capital of the country. I do not believe we go to Canberra, but we should know obviously what the capital of the country is if we're going there. So your total flying time to Sydney or Melbourne from LA or LAX or SFO, which is where we will connect from Albuquerque or Tucson, depending on where you're departing from, is going to be about 14 to 15 hours flight time. So yes, it is quite a long flight. It should be noted, we'll talk about it on day one. You're going to leave on October the 12th, and you're going to get to Australia in the morning on October 14th. So it is a journey, and you cross the international date line. So that's all part of that long travel. In October, on the east coast of Australia, time-wise, you'll be 18 hours ahead of us, or at least the folks on the west coast of the United States. So the Tucson folks, 8 hours ahead, 18 hours ahead of that'd be 19 hours ahead for the folks in the Mountain Time Zone. And just so you understand kind of like the temperatures, it's very temperate at this time of year in Australia. It often is in Australia, but this is again spring time frame because obviously in the southern hemisphere the seasons are reversed, and so you're getting in the springtime. It's nice temperate weather, usually 65 to 75 if you're in Sydney or Melbourne, and then it's a little bit warmer when you're out at some of the places like Ayers Rock or what have you. So I'm going to show a quick video of Australia, the Australia experience, or I think I'm going to show you a video. That would be something if the video doesn't work, which is possible. Oh well. We're not going to watch the video. It was very cute. So there's going to be another video coming up for New Zealand that I imagine is not going to work as well, but that's okay. We'll make it through without watching the video. So as I mentioned, on day one, we're going to fly to Sydney, and we are going to cross that international date line. So, you know, it will be a long trip, and you will arrive again on October 14th after departing on October 12th. Ah, look, we've got someone else joining us. Great.
And another one.
Absolutely. Nice to see you, sir. Welcome. Coffee in the back if you
okay.
need that. And so once we get to Sydney, we're going to clear immigration and customs, and then we're going to start by going on a short orientation tour of the city right away. So we're going to get going. Oh, I thought you were worried about the tour starting right away, not the phone. And so we're gonna do a 2-course lunch that first day. We're gonna visit a number of the famous sites. So we'll see like Bondi Beach and be able to see obviously the Sydney Opera House. You know, Sydney, as we know, is one of the most cosmopolitan and wondrous cities in the world. It's Australia's largest city, and it serves as the capital of New South Wales, which is the state that it's the part of. And I'm going to let this person into the waiting room. There we go. And it is set along the southeastern coast of Sydney. So if you imagine that map that we were just looking at, it's going to be in the bottom right corner. And it does have everything that you would want in a major city: shopping, arts, outdoors, and a number of different things in this area. And then we're also going to be checking into our hotel for the 3 nights in Sydney. This is going to be the 4 Points by Sheraton Sydney that we're going to be staying at, and we'll also have some meals included on this day, both a lunch and a dinner. So on the 3rd day, we're going to take a more extensive Sydney tour. As you can see, all the different sites that we're going to hit. We're going to be doing downtown Sydney with our tour guide. We're going to be touring the historic Rocks area and taking views of Hyde Park, which you can see here, St. Mary's Cathedral, which I don't think we have a picture of here, the Parliament House, and the Art Gallery. And then we're doing a specific guided tour of the Sydney Opera House. So we're going to be going into the Sydney Opera House and do an entire tour of that amazing architectural marvel that, obviously is iconic and represents everything that is Australia and Sydney. One of the things about the Sydney Opera House, it became a UNESCO World Heritage listed site in 2007, indicative of the iconic nature and how important and awe-inspiring it is. So we then go later that day, we're going to the world famous Bondi Beach and spending time there, enjoying the spectacular scenery there. Lunch will be on your own that day, but there are a number of places to participate and find around there. And then later that day, we're going to be going to the Circular Quay to board a ship. So we're going to do a dinner cruise with a glass of wine included. I think we've got a couple of different day cruises during this trip, if I recall, a few more. So that's obviously a nice feature of this particular tour. So on day 4, we're going to be going from Sydney and we're going to be going to the outer Sydney parks. And so, obviously Australia is incredibly diverse in terms of wildlife and ecology and the environment, and some of the amazing things that are just outside of Sydney, you can see here. So we're going to be discovering the spectacular Blue Mountains. You can see them indicated here. And we're going to be exploring the Blue Mountains National Park along with our guide. This rugged and beautiful region forms part of the Great Dividing Range, which links the tropical north to the temperate south while dividing coastal cities from the vast outback. We're also going to be going to a place called Echo Point, where you're going to see the famous Three Sisters rock formation. You can't really see it on here, but it's all indicated. This is Three Sisters over here. Here's Echo Point. And this is all the that you're seeing here. All right, later we're going to arrive at Scenic World and join these Blue Mountain rides. You can see here, like the Scenic Railway, Cableway, or Skyway. These are great ways to see the steep valleys, canyons, and the Three Sisters rock formation. So you'll have a chance to participate or take part in traversing in one of these ways using the Scenic Railways or Scenic Skyways. We're going to do a 2-course lunch that day. And then after the 2-course lunch, we're going to go to the Featherdale Wildlife Park and see an incredible number of Australian animals. So we're going to see kangaroos, wombats, dingoes, platypus, I can't, and of course, cute little penguins. And then, of course, we have to, I've got one more slide before we go on to day 5, because we're also going to get to see the iconic koala bears while we're there. So that'll be lovely to check those guys out. I myself still haven't had a chance to see one, although I did get to go to Australia with my mom when I was much younger. Sorry, I'm checking to make sure. It looked like there was a message, but no message here. So I'm going to move that out of the way. Okay. All right. This morning, we're departing from the Sydney airport. So we're going back to the airport and we're flying to Ayers Rock. And then that's located in the south of Australia's Northern Territory. It's a very remote town of Ulara, which is where we're going to be going to. And it's only 18 kilometers, so less than 10 miles from the Sacred World Heritage Site, Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock, which you see here. This is the lodge where we're staying, I believe, the Desert Gardens Hotel Ayers Rock Resort, and you can see how close we are and what proximity we have to Uluru. So that's really amazing stuff there. This is the service hub. This town serves as the service hub for the Uluru Kata Tjutu National Park and offers some welcome comfort in the midst of this really quite harsh landscape of the outback. Obviously, this epic sandstone formation is one of the wonders of Australia. It stands almost 350 meters high and is about 10 kilometers in circumference. So, the picture really doesn't do it justice at like how big and the scale of what you're actually seeing here. This actually does a little bit better job because you can see with the curvature of the Earth, it's still, prominently displayed there. Obviously, this is an ancient. There's ancient rock art that you'll see there. There's hidden caves. There's these amazing otherworldly fiery hues that happen at like sunset when the sun is reflecting off the red rocks. There's other popular attractions and activities here, including the Field of Light, Uluru, the Desert Awakenings Tour, and the Wintjiri Arts and Museum. And then this is something that is particularly amazing that I hadn't heard about until learning more about this tour. And the first time we did a presentation about this tour, they discussed this Field of Lights dinner. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over. This is where you're going to, yeah, exactly. It's pretty stunning. So you're going to actually have a dinner that is in this Field of Lights in Uluru. And what this is actually, I have to go back because I have to make sure that I explain exactly what it is that you're seeing. So it's an exhibition. It's aptly titled the Tili Wiru Jutu Niakatjaku, or looking at all the beautiful lights. And that's in the local Pitjantjatjara. And so this is done by an artist that has 50,000 that created a whole field with 50,000 spindles of light, and with movement with the lights. They're attached to different parts of the plant and foliage around there, and everything is moving and swaying with the winds and the things that are happening there and the different colors. So this is a really one of the highlights of this trip is going to be this particular evening here. So you want to make sure you get more information about that. And then on day 6, we're still in Ulara. This morning we do an early rise for a sunrise tour of Uluru. So we want to be there, obviously, when the sun comes up and catch those amazing views in the morning. So during the journey, our driver guide will share some history about the numerous sacred sites and everything along the way. That's definitely, this is sacred land for the Maori and a lot of the other native folks of Australia, the Aborigines. And these stories form part of what is known to the local Anangu people as Chukupra, the foundation of Anangu life and culture. And so there'll be a lot of discussion around that. You'll learn about the important cultural impacts, the things, the way of life around there, and their history. There's also a fun and organic dot painting workshop. So if you've seen the Maoris with the dot painting, with their face painting and their body painting, you'll be taught by a local artist and learn about the traditional art, what the symbols, tools, and everything mean, and you'll be obviously inspired and learn a lot of things about this beautiful culture. This afternoon and evening is on your own. Next, we're going to go to day 8. Why it is so hard for me to change these? Oh, wait, day 7. Sorry. Day 7 is Ulara to Cairns. So we have some free time to shop and hang out and look at the galleries and stuff before we head to the Ayers Rock Airport, and we're going to take a in-country flight to Cairns. This was once a sleepy sort of sugar milling town. Now it's a vibrant cosmopolitan city, as you can see. It's a premier destination for sailing, diving, and snorkeling. It's on the coast. It's beautiful, and it's very close in proximity. It's right next to the Great Barrier Reef, where preview day 8 tomorrow, we're going to be doing a cruise in the Great Barrier Reef. So fantastic part of this trip as well. And this is also a kind of a gateway into the lush rainforests that are more inland in this part of the country. So you'll be able to make the most of this coastal paradise by cycling along the sandy beachfront if you so choose, or rafting through rapids or on the beach in Mission beach there in town. Other popular activities in the town include visiting Cooktown, which is one of their more historic towns. So that's where you're going to learn a lot of the history of Australia, or taking a scenic drive through the farmlands, stopping at the village markets along the way. There's also the Tiapukai Aboriginal Cultural Park, where there's a lot of music and dance interpretation of Aboriginal history specifically. And there's also the Cairns Esplanade, which is kind of like the perfect sort of place for you to be seaside for dining experiences, shopping. It's got a very nice promenade for everyone to enjoy a romantic, lovely sunset. You'll be staying in Cairns for 3 days at the Pacific Hotel Cairns. And then the next day, as I mentioned, we're going to the Great Barrier Reef. This is one of the highlights, obviously, of this trip. The Great Barrier Reef is the biggest coral reef in the world. It is a natural wonder, unparalleled, and it is something that many have said is that you have to see to believe. So we're going to be doing a Ocean Spirit cruise, which sails from Reef Fleet Terminal in Cairns City. This is a catamaran. We're going to be doing about an 8.5 hour cruise. So it's going to be about 2 hours there, 2 hours back, and about 4 hours on the actual reef itself. On this tour, you can enjoy snorkeling. You can get into a semi-submersible coral viewing area. And there's even scuba diving if people have some interest in that or certification. There will be a hot and cold buffet lunch on the boat, as well as tea service in the afternoon. We have to have our tea service in the afternoon. And then there's also on the way back, we'll be exploring the different cays along the journey and enjoying a complimentary glass of sparkling wine on the way back. Just make sure that day, lots of sunscreen, hats, take your camera, towel, and you might want to bring cash or credit card in case you want to do optional activities or on-board purchases in addition to what's offered. And then the next day, we're doing the Cairns Rainforest and Train. So we do cruises, we do trains. We're obviously taking a number of different flights to get here and get around the country. So we're really doing it all this trip. So yeah, today begins with our check-ins aboard the Skyrail Rainforest Cableway. We're going to be spending time at the 2 rainforest mid-stations. So we're going to have ranger guided boardwalk tours and visit the Rainforest Interpretation Center. The lookouts and all the other sort of display elements that are there at that particular location. And then the journey by cableway to Kuranda, we'll be able to get there and spend some free time browsing the Kuranda village in their heritage market. So that's going to be some more kind of local and indigenous markets and culture that you'll experience there. Yes, we're going to experience the Pamajiri Aboriginal experience, which includes both the Pamajiri Aboriginal dance performance, which is held in the Rainforest Amphitheater, as well as the Dreamtime Walk conducted either before or after the show, depending on how things work out. And then after the show, we are boarding an amphibious World War II Army duck boat for a rainforest tour. So that'll be a lot of fun. Best way to travel in the rainforest, I imagine. And then after that, we're going to board that scenic rail train to Freshwater Station. And so this famous Kuranda Scenic Railway was built over 120 years ago, and it winds its way through the tropical mountain ranges between Cairns and Kuranda. So that's how we're actually getting to where we're going. Your day concludes with the scenic ride back to Cairns on board the Kuranda Scenic Railway. So we're going to do an out and back on the railway that day. You'll have a independent evening that night. So you can go and enjoy the location of Cairns on your own. Okay, day 10. And again, we're not even halfway through the trip. think about that and all the things we've done. So on day 10, we're going from Cairns to Melbourne. This morning we check out, we transfer to the Cairns airport and fly to Melbourne. Australia, this is Australia's heart of culture, as they say. It's the capital of Victoria and lies on the banks of the Yarra River. It's known and famous for gorgeous gardens. Honestly, from what I understand, some of the best food in the world is in Melbourne, Australia. There's, I saw there were a couple of like top 50 restaurants there on the list that just came out the other day. And a lot of art and culture there. This is really considered to be and appears to be the cultural part of Australia. The Royal Botanic Gardens has a spectacular display of indigenous plants and flowers. There's an Aboriginal heritage walk that obviously takes you through the city of Melbourne, telling you about the history of the Aborigines in that area. And then other highlights include Queen Victoria Market, the Melbourne Cricket Ground, which is highly touted and arguably one of the best in the world, they say. I don't know my cricket, so I'll take their word for it. I do know that the US apparently won cricket yesterday. People were very excited about that. I know. I had no idea, but people were very excited. And we will be staying, upon arrival in Melbourne, we will do a short city tour. And we will then go to our hotel, which is the Pan Pacific Melbourne, and we'll be staying there for 3 nights. So day 11, we're going to Phillip Island. This is a nearby island that is famous among all types of travelers, particularly as a day trip from Melbourne, but it's got amazingly picturesque landscapes. It's got the amazing wildlife and everything. And of course, it has the penguins. This is what you see here. This is the penguin parade, which you'll be seeing part of. This is where hundreds of penguins make their way back to their burrows on the beach at sunset time every day. So it's going to be a perfect experience. We'll be there for it. It will be lovely. And this is obviously a picture of Phillip Island itself, and you can see how beautiful and iconic it looks. This is also a place where there's a lot of surfing. It's definitely a place where surfers like to go. They have great waves there. We'll also, while we are here, I should note, you'll see if you're into birding and all, you're definitely going to see some amazing bird species here, especially, indigenous to Australia. And then we'll also visit the Koala Conservation Center while we're here as well. So we'll see some more koalas here. So, and then, so we did talk about the penguin parade. Okay, yeah. So we'll do the penguin parade at sunset as we enjoy dinner prior to that as well. On day 12, we are going to Yarra Valley. This is outside of Melbourne. It's not Melbourne. I've been doing my research. It's Melbourne because that's the Aussie connotations of it. So this was the name given to the region surrounding the Yarra River in Victoria, Australia. Obviously, we talked about the Yarra River being part of or going through Melbourne. So this is downstream from there. The river originates approximately 90 kilometers east of the Melbourne Central Business District and flows towards it out into Port Phillip Bay. We're first going to visit Rayner's Orchard here. As you can see, this is Rayner's Orchard here. I believe this is one of our partners over at Rayner's Orchard. And we're going to have a wine tasting and a lunch here, which is lovely for an afternoon. And then after the winery, we're going to stop at the Yarra Valley Chocolatier. So we'll be able to pick up some chocolate as well before we return to the hotel and freshen up before a 3-course dinner at a local restaurant with a glass of wine or beer, followed by a nighttime visit to the Melbourne Sky Deck. This is a place where you can see pretty much across the entire, specifically, it is the Southern Hemisphere's highest observation deck. So it is going to have quite the views. Okay, so we're making a transition here. We'll wake up in Yarra Valley, or yeah, on the river, and then we will be going to New Zealand. Yes, question.
Do we need to get visas for both countries?
That's a great question. I do believe that there's some visa information that we do need to provide to you guys. I'm going to ask Alex here in a second specifics about that. I don't know if it is age related. That was my understanding prior, is that there was a certain age that had to get a specific visa, but I'm not 100% sure. So before we finish, we'll get that information, make sure y'all have it. And if there is anything that needs to get done, that, you know, how, like timing and how that works. And I'll see if the video works, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It's not gonna. You know, when it looks like that, when it's like fuzzy, it doesn't work. So whenever it works, it looks perfect. So, sorry, guys. I'm quite sure it's a Mac thing because that's what happens. But that's the only laptop I have right now. So, okay. So let's talk about New Zealand. Much smaller country, obviously. 5 million people. It's really about the size of the UK. So, you know, Ireland, Scotland, and Great Britain, and Wales. Always forget about Wales. And its major cities are Auckland, Christchurch, Queenstown, which we are all going to visit. Wellington is the capital. I do not believe we get to Wellington, but as you can see, it is one of the major tourist cities. It's a little closer to us here in the US, so only about 13 hours from LAX or SFO. They're 20 hours ahead of West Coast, so 21 hours ahead of us here in the mountain time zone. So basically, whatever time it is, you know, when you're in New Zealand, it's that same time or close to it yesterday for everyone else here. New Zealand is going to be cooler for sure. So the daytime highs, again, springtime, but just starting springtime in New Zealand. It'll be roughly in the 60s during the day, and then it can get down to 40s, 50s at night. So you're definitely going to want to have some, you know, layers for your travel in New Zealand. Right? Beautiful. It's just beautiful. So this is Queenstown, and this is where we're going to be flying into. And so I'll start from the beginning. You're checking out, we're going back, you're still in Melbourne, or you're still leaving from Melbourne, transferring from your hotel, and you're flying out to Queenstown, New Zealand. As you can see, it is an idyllic resort town. It lies on the shores of Lake Wakatipu in the southwest of South Island, New Zealand, surrounded by beautiful alpine peaks, as you can see here. This is one of the best photos I found with the contrast of the water of the lake and the alpine peaks. This is considered by many to be one of the world's top adventure capitals, just with the amount of things that you can do here, outdoors activities, and just the beauty of everything there. Nature-led destination offers a wide choice of things like whitewater rafting, zip lining, skiing, skydiving, bungee jumping. I'm not saying we're going to go do any of that. I'm just letting you all know that this is one of the things that Queenstown is famous for. Oh, and a particular highlight, they say, is that it's the world's largest rope swing here in Queenstown in Nevis Valley. So if anyone wants to be on the largest rope swing in the world, we can make that happen. Otherwise, there's lush vineyards, pristine golf courses, Queenstown Gardens, which is an amazing garden in the middle of the city, and as well as the town's luxury spas and wellness centers. There's a lot of great food there as well, and we will be staying at the Hotel Novotel, Queenstown Lakeside for the next 3 nights. So we're going to be staying in Queenstown for the next 3 nights. This morning, we traveled to Milford Sound for another day cruise. So we're going to be taking some scenic stops en route at places like Eglinton Valley, Mirror Lakes, which I don't, oh, this is actually Mirror Lakes, I believe. The pictures that I have seen of Mirror Lakes are absolutely stunning. I think that the very first shot on the cover of this presentation was actually in Mirror Lakes as well. I have never been there, I've never seen it, but it looks like something that would just absolutely blow you away. So you'll be stopping there. There's also a place called Homer Tunnel and the Chasm. So Milford Sound is the most well-known tourist destination in New Zealand. It's not really a sound at all, but really a fjord. So glacially made. It's created by a succession of glaciers, which carved through the rocks as they gouged a trek to the sea, leaving in their wake all these impressive rock formations that you see here. It's obviously got diverse and particularly unusual wildlife. It's got fur seals, crested penguins, bottlenose dolphins, dusky dolphins, which I've never heard of. It's a must-see for nature lovers, so that we're going to be spending a lot of time here. There's a huge, striking peak called Maitre Peak here, that has sheer rocky cliffs that rise vertically out of the calm, dark waters. And then there's the Bowen Falls as well, which is a waterfall with a 520-foot drop before crashing dramatically into the field below. So it's easy to see why this is known as the tourist destination of New Zealand, with all of the amazing sights that you will see here. And then again, in the afternoon, we're going to enjoy a Milford Sound cruise with a meal as well. There'll be stunning sheer cliffs around you. You'll be able to take in. You'll be able to see the blackness of the water. That's the feature that actually aids the mirror quality of it. And you'll see the towering cliffs and peaks that rise like literally more than a kilometer straight out of the water. So this is going to be a highlight day for sure. The beauty that you will encounter here will be unparalleled. Next day, we're still in Queenstown. Today, you'll have a free day to kind of walk around the town on your own or explore beyond. Tonight, we're going to depart the hotel to visit the Skyline Gondola. So that's a gondola that will go up Bob's Peak, which is if you're oriented the other way, looking up to the city, it's there's Sandy, as I suppose. And we're going to be going and taking that Skyline Gondola up Bob's Peak to enjoy a buffet dinner at the Stratosphere restaurant, which is on top of the peak. So we're going to have a lovely dinner there with obviously the amazing views of Queenstown and the city. Enjoy this buffet dinner featuring New Zealand cuisine infused with international influences. So this will be a lovely way to finish off that day. And I think this is our last day in Queenstown as well. Yeah, we're going to Christchurch tomorrow. So we're to depart by coach from Queenstown to Christchurch. And then this is on the eastern coast of New Zealand's South Island. It is the largest city on the island, and it's dubbed the Garden City. It's known for many lush green spaces and possesses a multicultural charm with an added dash of Victorian flair. As you can see, all the greenery here as well. On our arrival there, sorry, was there a question? Okay. We have a sightseeing tour of the city. So the first thing we'll do is we'll take a sightseeing tour of the city. We'll admire the beautiful Christchurch Botanic Gardens, visit the city center, see how it's changing. And we will be on a tour that will guide us down along the Avon River as well. So the Avon River punting tours are these tours set aboard these boats. This is what we'll be doing. We'll be actually taking some of these tours, one of these tours in Christchurch. We're going to have our own punter, they call him. So this guy's the punter who's getting us along with his poles. That's how they do it, kind of like they do in, I guess, Venice. And then we'll do a group dinner with local fare this evening. On the 17th, we're departing Christchurch Airport for Rotorua. Rotorua. Sorry, I'm still struggling with that one. Rotorua. Thank you. Rotorua. See, I appreciate you. It's been a spa town since the 1800s. It's because there's a lot of geysers, volcanic activity, that sort of thing in the area. Lots of hot springs and mud pools with a very active geothermal fields in the area. This is Maori country. They're considered, they consider this region sacred, and they make up almost more than a third of the population in this particular area of the country. So we're going to be discovering a lot about their rich culture and traditions. Surrounded by lakes, mountains, and forests, as you can see here, it's a particularly lush place. One of the things that we'll be doing upon arrival is we'll enjoy a sightseeing tour and lunch of a kiwi hatchery. That's why the kiwis up there in the corner. So we'll get to see some baby kiwis, hopefully, and go through that. We'll also, and that one of the cool things about that is it's a conservation effort. Kiwis, I believe, are endangered or were at one point, and so this has been a successful effort to keep those animals alive and flourishing in the country. And then later we'll visit the Ohinemutu village. He's like, I don't know that one. And government gardens before checking into our hotel, exploring the lakefront, and then we'll have a special dinner at Tipatu with a traditional hangi dinner. And that's what you're seeing here, obviously. So we're going to be here for 2 nights in Christchurch, in Rotorua at the Millennium Hotel Rotorua. This morning, we're going to enjoy a half day of sightseeing, which includes Lake Rotorua, Government Gardens, and Quiro Park. There's also a thermal reserve with a 90-minute guided tour that we'll visit. This is in the Wakawarena Geothermal Valley. And you'll see landscapes unlike anything you've seen before. You can see some of it here with the pools. It's a little bit small, but if you are up close, you can see where like the sulfur and the geothermal stuff is happening. It creates these amazing landscapes, and you'll be able to view all of that on this particular tour. There's a world famous Pohutu geyser that does vapor jets up to 30 minutes high, so hopefully you'll be able to see that. You'll definitely see bubbling mud pools, other active geysers in the area, and your guide will take you through the New Zealand Maori Arts and Crafts Institute as well on that day. Rest of the afternoon after visiting all of these sites, I believe, is going to be on your own here in Rotorua. Okay. Now this is Hobbiton. This morning we depart by coach and go to Auckland via Matamata and Waitomo. And so we're first going to stop at the Hobbiton and take a guided tour of the Hobbiton movie set. So this is featured in the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit trilogies, etc. As many folks may or may not know, Peter Jackson, yeah, that's the guy's name. Peter Jackson is the filmmaker who I believe is from New Zealand. He must be. Anyway, he set up his whole entire studio in New Zealand, and they filmed all those movies in New Zealand. And so the sets are actually here in New Zealand. And recently, I believe, because I don't believe it has always been the case, but recently they have opened it up so you are able to actually visit. And so we are going to be doing that. So we're doing a tour of the set. As you can see, it's quite cool and inspiring, and will be an amazing time. After the tour, we're going to depart for Otorohanga for lunch at the Cross Hills Country Farms. And then after lunch, we depart for the Watomo Glowworm Caves. I should note that this is going to be your last full day here. It is packed. This is a packed day because you're doing the Hobbiton, you're doing the Glowworm Caves, which is known as one of the New Zealand's like best natural attractions. You're going to take a boat ride through the glowworm caves. I'll show you a picture of that in a second. It's pretty amazing. And you'll also, this is something that's like been millions and millions, 30 million years in the making with all these glowworms in this particular natural light display in a cavern. So that's amazing. And then after you do this entire experience with the Hobbiton, and then sorry, I didn't mean to do that, but we can make this work. You will be experiencing, after the glowworm cave, we're going to do our final farewell dinner at the iconic Sky Tower. And then we're going to be doing a 3-course farewell dinner at the Sky Tower Orbit restaurant. So you can have that 360-degree dining. That's one of the restaurants that spins. Obviously, this is you're going to see some breathtaking views and really be able to, well, enjoy, reflect, and hopefully give thanks for your trip to Australia and New Zealand. So yeah, it's exciting into all the activities planned. We're going to have amazing events that day, and then superb dining and breathtaking views. So we're going to be staying at the Ridges Auckland Hotel that night. And then obviously the next day, we're going to be getting on we're going to be transferring to the airport via coach and journeying home from Auckland.
On this LAX.
I will get you the exact flights in a second. I'm going to go ask Alex about specifically, because I do think we have that done at this point. I imagine it would be either LAX or SFO, but I'm not 100% sure. I do know I looked at the itineraries, and I mean, the likelihood of there being no delays is not high, but if everything is on time, you will arrive before you leave by about 25 minutes or so. So that's fun if you can make it work.
And well rested too.
I can't promise that. That's you got to sleep during that phantom day.
It's like a book of Wrinkle in Time.
Exactly. That's exactly like the Book of Wrinkle in Time. Absolutely. Okay, well, let's go through exactly kind of what's included. Most of you guys, I think, have traveled with Centaurs before, but if not, one of the great things about Centaurs is that everything is taken care of. It's worry-free travel. We are, everything is inclusive, as we've indicated. We've got round-trip airfare included from Albuquerque or Tucson, depending where you're departing, and back. We do the in-country air transportation. We also have the transfers through motor coach. It's not indicated on here, but the day cruises, the rail trips, all those are included in the package. We've got 18 nights lodging. Baggage handling is of course, as always, going to be handled for your one bag. And then the total number of meals that are included are indicated here, and specifics around like what meals are available on what day are indicated on our site. We have a day-by-day itinerary that will spell all that out for you. But also for folks who haven't traveled with Centaurs or Pleasure Tours before, you will be traveling with a tour guide from our locations, and they will be traveling with you the entire way. So you will have someone with you that is escorting the trip and making sure that everything is taken care of. If there are any issues, you'll have them to help with. And then obviously taxes, gratuities, et cetera, are included. We are coming up on final payment date pretty quickly here. So we're looking for folks to indicate, at least to us, what level of interest there is. Obviously, we're about 120 days, I think, from departure, roughly speaking, maybe 130. My math is bad right now. And there might be a little bit of a little bit that we could do behind that. date, but please check with us after and we can specify. And obviously, we highly recommend insurance for trips such as these. Just, you never know what could happen. Insurance coverage will allow for, anything such as illness or other circumstances under your control to be taken care of. And then from our partners in Australia, they recommended letting you guys know about a couple of things. Very, kind of typical advice, but we definitely want to have good walking shoes for a trip like this. It is going to be an active trip. So definitely need to have that ability to be mobile and participate in what you were doing. And one thing that we've been advising folks on, because well, actually, Eric, our owner on a recent trip, had gotten some new shoes and started wearing them right when he started the trip. Make sure you got good shoes, but make sure they're broken in, because you need to have that. You don't want to be breaking them in while you're doing something like this. You want to have that done at the front end. So good walking shoes, broken in. Sunblock, definitely a good hat. Certainly I need a good hat. Otherwise things get bad for me, sun wise. Mobile charger is always good for your devices or anything that you need. The electricity is different there. They have the 3-prong. We can get you the information about the specifics. It should be noted also, anyone who travels with us on our international tours, about a month before we depart, we will have a passenger briefing where we'll go through everything specifically, like what you need, what to pack, talk more specifically about the itinerary. We'll give you the documentation, baggage stuff, things like that. So you don't necessarily need to make sure you remember all of this. We'll definitely indicate when you come back for the passenger briefing. And then reusable water bottle is always recommended, although don't put any water in it before you go to the airport, because they'll make you pour it out. And then, things not to carry and to declare or indicate here. So I think that brings us to the end of our presentations today. I mean, what can we say? That is truly a bucket list tour. It is, extensive. It's almost 3 weeks in length. You're visiting all of the iconic and wonderful destinations of 2 of the most beautiful countries in the world. And you're getting everything set up and taken care for you along the way. So we would love to have you join us on a trip to Australia and New Zealand in October. And now I'm going to open it up to any questions that folks might have. And I will also go grab Alex in a second to ask about the specifics around visas and the airlines. Okay. Any questions? Folks online? No? Okay. Well, I am going to ask really quickly if we can get a little bit more information about the Australia visa stuff. So I did have some indications here about the particulars, but I didn't know if actually I didn't have the time to go through it all, so I was hoping.
I spoke with someone here.
Yeah.
Several occasions about that. And it's funny, do it at least 33 days before.
Got it.
It takes for each one. Takes a while.
Got it.
I'm gonna do.
What was that screen you had? Just,
This one or this one right here was actually some links that I had aggregated, or that actually our partner in Australia had aggregated. And I'm happy to send this to you via email if that's helpful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. We'll get you guys' email. We'll make sure that it's there. All right, cool. See, it looks like visas are required and are electronic, says iPhone. So thank you, iPhone. I appreciate you for coming in.
Can I
so
speak?
yeah, please,
Oh, you
absolutely.
can hear me? Hi.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Meg. My son lives in Melbourne. So we've been through the visa process several times. And you can do it online. Last time we did it, I think it was about $25 for Australia and maybe around the same for New Zealand. But you can go on. Be very careful that you go on the official government website, because there are websites that will look official. They'll do it for you, but they'll cost a lot more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
make sure you go on the official Australian government website, and you can purchase the visa, and then you don't have to print anything out. You don't have to do anything else. Once it's approved, you're in the system, and when you go through passport control, they have your information in there.
Great. And I think we were discussing you should do that certainly at least 30 days before, right? Like there's a time frame, I think, that we want to.
As soon as you know
You
you're
wanna-
going, I would just get on and do that. It's fairly
Okay.
straightforward.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And oh, I'm gonna go grab the flight information really quick. Okay, appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, so we're flying American. We're flying American, and we are flying through LAX on the way out, and through Dallas on the way back. Dallas isn't bad. That's actually pretty decent. Auckland to Dallas too, so that's a pretty good flight. So, yeah. Much
And
better.
some of that will be emailed to us, certain information regarding that.
Yeah, so if you're on the trip,
Yeah, where are you?
yes, you'll absolutely be getting that information. So what we'll do, we'll schedule a passenger briefing about 4 to 6 weeks before the trip. We'll also, at that point in time, we will actually give you, like, if you come here physically, we'll
Yes.
give you like a folder with all your documents and everything in it, your baggage tags, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, we'll go through everything regarding the trip, what you need to bring, electricity, weather, all that kind of stuff. And then if you're not able to join in person, or for folks who are at pleasure event, you'll get that mailed to you. Yeah, so we will get you that information close to the closer to the time. And if you have questions about it, you can always call us and we can give you the information ahead of time too. All right. Any other questions, folks online?
I have a question. Is it
Yeah.
possible to make your own flight arrangements on a different airline?
We could work with you on a flight, on an airfare deviation, for sure. We do that with a lot of our clients.
Okay.
Certainly, just give a call and we can figure out how to make that work for you.
Thank you.
Yes. And then how many people you were asking? I think, I'd have to look at the numbers. I think that this particular tour is designed for right around a max of 25. And I think we're at around 15-ish at this point. These are off the top of my head, so don't quote me on it. But, our typical tours are going to be in between 20 and 35 at max.
Are you doing this every year or?
So,
every other year?
So the question was, are we going to be doing this every year? Australia and New Zealand is probably a trip that we do every other year, probably not every year. It depends, entirely on, well, it depends on trends and things like that, but also, demand, obviously, and the fact that it is quite a substantial tour in terms of, travel and time and things like that. But it is quite popular and we do definitely revisit it. I just don't believe we're going next year because we have a lot of 2025 already planned out. We're actually working on 26 now, so.
Wow.
But so we'll definitely be going back by then, I would imagine.
This is more extensive than if you take a cruise.
Yeah, I mean, cruises are great, but you're gonna be doing a lot more kind of in-depth. You're gonna be staying in these locations, you're gonna be able to, do things like the sunrise, visits to the iconic locations and things like that. So yeah, you're definitely gonna get more of a in-depth experience than you would cruising. Cruising is obviously a great way to travel. There's a lot of benefits and a lot of the amenities are quite special. But as far as exploring the country and being kind of immersed in it, I think this is certainly the way to go.
Did it last year too. And we did a cruise
Mhm.
and up and back. And I just felt like I was skimming like touristy places that wanted to sell stuff and then we're back on the boat again. And the only time we had to pay for any excursion outside of that. And when we flew to the biplane and went into a fish, not a salmon bait thing. And went over glaciers and all that, but that was extra
Right.
out of pocket. And that was the best part of it. And then coming back in Canada, we did the beer tour and that was awesome.
That does sound awesome.
And that was two highlights of that trip.
Yeah, I mean,
It's different, but yeah, I like cruising, but
yeah,
there's definite.
it just depends on what you like, what your intentions are, what you
Right.
want to do,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely based on what it is you want to happen on your trip, so.
What is the recommendation for luggage? Like one carry-on, one check bag?
That's what we recommend, one carry on, one check bag. If you can, it's really helpful to get, everything into your one check bag if you can. And I think that some of these places will, have laundry services, things of that nature, so you can, if you don't necessarily have to pack for 18, 20 days.
Sure.
I know, it's hard, but it is helpful because, that second bag, if you're hauling it around, it can be tough. And plus, we take care of that first bag, so you can actually just.
And a backpack is great.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's where you have all your, that's where you have all your electronics, that's where you have your documents, that's where you have your medicine and your doc kit or whatever, your shape. Exactly, so. Leave all the other stuff in the big hulking box, yeah. Okay. All right, everyone, thank you so much. This was lovely. I appreciate it. I thank you all for listening online. Please give us a call. We'd love to tell you more about the trip, get you booked, and like I say, that the dates are coming up fast. So please come with us.
How many more spaces have you got before you top out?
I think we have. I don't know the exact number. I know we have space available, but I don't know the exact number. Thank you, everybody. Take care, folks.